welcome back to our continuing coverage at Origins 2018. I am here with Reiner. Reiner? I got that right?
Yes.
Good. From NSKN Games. And we're going to be taking a look here at a couple of things. We're starting with this very impressive game, prototype. What is this?
So this is Teotihuacan in Mesoamerica. It is by Daniele Tascini, who was one of the designers of Tzolk'in.
Okay.
In this game, it combines a rondel mechanism with worker placement.
Okay.
And in this case, as you can see, there are dice, but you don't roll the dice. The dice are your workers.
Okay.
On your turn, you simply choose one of your dice. So let's say that you were the green player. You would choose a die, and you can move it up to 3 spaces. Wherever you end up on that board is where you get to take the action.
Okay, so I always will go clockwise then?
Always clockwise.
So I could go here, there, or
over here.
Okay.
And the different boards, depending on which one you end up on, you're going to be able to take different actions.
Okay.
There are some of them, for example, where you can collect resources.
Okay.
And they all function similarly in that, depending on the number of workers that you have at that location and the value of the lowest one will determine how much of a benefit you get. So obviously, more dice, a higher value of the dice, you get a greater benefit. Usually after taking that action, you also then get to level up one of your workers.
Nice.
So as you take the actions, all of these little icons show that you get to level up your workers, so they become better the more actions that they take.
Okay.
You then spend those resources, for example, to build the pyramid. You can spend gold, you can spend stone and wood to be able to add tiles to the pyramid in the middle. In addition to scoring points depending on the level, so as you can see there's this 1, 3, 5, or 7 depending on if it's the 1st through the 4th level. Okay. If you are able to match the icons to existing either printed icons or on tiles that are already there, you will score extra bonus points.
So you cover matching.
If you cover, yes. And if you are able to match one that also has a color, you get to advance on the temple track of that color.
Got it.
Ultimately, you are trying to obviously score a lot of victory points. There are 3 scoring rounds. After the last player has taken their turn, we advance this scoring marker. When it gets over here, we will do a scoring round. You score based on how much you have contributed to the pyramid, either by adding tiles or by adding decorations, which we have over there. And they function pretty much the same way, but with the color matching and this matching of the symbols. You also score points for adding houses into the city. So that here is a place where you can add houses. Depending on if you have, again, 1 or 2 or 3 workers, you will score more victory points if you have more workers at that location.
Are these physical bits that get added onto the temple?
So they will be bits that are taken off from here, houses that they then go and cover those
placed
up.
Here, okay.
Correct.
Okay.
And then there are also different masks that you can collect. Like here's an example of one. This tells you how many there are available of them, and depending on how many you collect, if you collect all 7, that's 28 victory points that you will score every round. The different locations so if we look at this board, for example, you can either come here to just collect the resources, but you can also come here to worship at the temple. In this case, I can advance on the green temple if I come over here, or I can collect this discovery tile, which in this case is a mask, or I can pay Coco to do both of them.
Okay.
Some of these locations have symbols that will lock your workers in permanently until you spend a turn to basically unlock them, or you can pay Coco and immediately unlock them and go again.
When you unlock, do you unlock all the ones that are locked? Okay.
That is correct.
Now, this looks, obviously, again, this is a prototype right now. Is this board modular, or are these always in this order?
So the printed board that will come, so this is basically final artwork, even though it's still a prototype.
Sure.
The game board will come printed with locations and everything, so you can set it up and it's ready to play if you're playing the first.
This is a set order of locations. Those
Correct.
Don't change.
But once you become familiar with the game, all of these locations also come as separate boards, so we can randomize them and have all the boards in a completely different order. Same thing, the technologies that you can research if you're learning the game, there will be a pre-printed kind of recommended set of starting technologies, but there will be extra tiles that you can then randomize to put out. Same thing with all of these other locations. There's a pre-printed kind of a starting setup, but then they come with tiles that will increase the replayability of the game.
Yeah,
And
very nice.
This is kind of this is a recent. This is what the tiles are going to look like. So they're going to be wooden pieces,
printed, quite thick. So this is going to have some great volume to it. Then
Right.
and then start taking on, of course, the shape of the pyramid itself. Yeah, fantastic. That is a very nice quality piece. How many players can this play up to?
up to 4.
4 players.
Yep.
And play time about?
So it's about 90 minutes to 2 hours. Yeah. So and there's definitely, I mean, there's a lot going on, but there's very little downtime actually, because you basically on your turn you choose to move one of your workers and take an action, and then the next player does something. And you have a set plan. Maybe you're trying to come over here to add tiles to the pyramid. Well, then you know that you need to collect the resources and so forth. So there's very little downtime in between the player turns.
Okay, very nice.
And
let's take a look at that box again if you want to show that, so folks see what we're talking about here.
And this game will be released in the United States early October, and then it will also be available at Essen in October, and it has an MSRP of $50.
MSRP of 50. That's I would have expected a higher MSRP, to be honest. It seems like there's quite a bit in it, and even, I mean, seeing a sample of these, and you know, considering that all of those are going to be the exact same material.
Yep.
That's a very nice price point, I have to say. Yeah, it looks interesting. Thematically, this seems really neat, and as you said, from the same designer as Zoken, so clearly a fan of the setting and then the history there.
Yep.
So very nice. All right, later this year you can get your hands on this one. And we've got one more game you're going to show us, yeah?
Yes, we do.
All right, so let's see if we can move this out of the way. I'll just go ahead and scoot it out.
Yep.
And you can show us the next one. I hate breaking the temple, but...
No, that's perfectly fine. No, and you can just put it off to the side, and then I will...
I've destroyed history.
Yeah. It will never be the same again. You play with green or yellow?
I play with yellow, yeah.
How about we give you a yellow bag this time?
All right, I'll take it. Yellow bag.
All right.
Yeah, let's get the box. I'll put it over here near me so we can get nice shots of it.
And I will bring out some of these, just samples.
Okay.
We don't need a lot of this one is basically one that builds as you play, so we don't necessarily need a lot of stuff out, but we will show some things. I'll give you one of these. Actually, we're going to put it this way because it faces the camera, right?
You're a pro. All right, so we're going to be taking a look at Dice Settlers from NSKN, still, of course, and this is what style of game? What's the main thing here?
So this is a dice pool building 4X game.
Okay.
This is by David Turchi, who's done games like Anachrony and so forth.
Okay.
In this game, you will start the game. Every player gets 5 dice to begin the game. You have 3 of these, which are basically generic starter dice, and again, this is all prototype stuff. Okay. And then you get these 2 on your turn. You have this little track here that shows basically what's your pool size.
Okay.
So you would be drawing 3 dice from your bag, and you get to roll those dice.
Right. So I would, again, like you said, bag building or dice bag building. So I would grab 3 and I would roll those 3.
Correct. And we would all be rolling the dice at the same time. Okay. Now, after we have rolled, we can take 2 actions. The different actions that you can take will be obviously determined on what you have rolled. So this one, for example, is a exploration icon. If you have at least one of those, you get to explore and you get to add new tiles to the board. So there's going to be a starting setup, for example, like this, where maybe this is your starting board and this is mine. If you take the exploration action, you get to draw from this stack a number of tiles equal to the number of icons that you have. So if you only have one, you draw one, but if I have 3 of them, I would get to draw 3, and then I choose one to add to the board to expand the area.
Okay.
As I'm adding it, I get to add another one of my people, my settlers there.
Got it.
If I add it adjacent to yours, you can take, if you have any settlers in your pool in front of you, you can say, well, this is next to an area, so you can also expand into that area.
Okay.
And benefit from the exploration that I did. If any player does that, then I could do the same if I have additional ones. So I'm guaranteed to keep majority, at least when I'm exploring the tile. All of the tiles, they give you different benefits. This tile right here that has that compass icon gives you an immediate benefit when you explore the tile. So when you first discover it, in this case you would collect wood.
Okay.
Some of them have abilities that you can activate once every round. Here, if we have workers on this one, any one of us could remove a settler from there in order to collect iron. Basically, they're mining here in the mountains. And some of them, including the starting ones, give you a benefit for having the majority there. So if we are both on this tile, because I have the most, I now benefit from being the governor of that tile. And in that case, the size of my dice pool would go up. So I get to roll more dice every turn.
Right. You still get 2 actions, but you get to do those actions from a larger pool.
Correct. Some of the other actions that you can take, this is a sample of 2 different technology cards. There will be 9 of them that are out every game, and they come in a wide variety. And all that they do is they allow you to get more out of your actions. They might give you a certain benefit. For example, this one, whenever you take the exploration, or sorry, the research action, you get counted as having an extra icon.
Okay.
Or this one would let you turn the settlement icon into a trade icon. So that gives you, by researching the technologies, that gives you the ability to basically do more with the dice that you are.
Do the different dice. So as you are earning new dice, that I see many different kinds.
Yes.
Depending on where you explored, depends on the kinds of dice you get.
Correct. So there's
the idea?
There are certain icons on here, like this one, for example. Lets me get additional dice. If I have 1, I get to take 1 die. If I have 3 of them, I can take 2.
So it accelerates that.
Right. And I can choose any die as long as I have settlers on that color. So for example, if I have a settler here, I can now take the orange die.
I see.
But I would need to have someone on this one in order to take that black die. There's a little bit of fighting here, where basically if I roll this raid icon, I can chase someone away. If we share a tile, I can force you to take one back.
So again, it seems like there's a lot going on, but in a very straightforward manner.
Yes.
You know, lots of ways this could go, lots of thematic sort of implications, but all driven by drawing some dice, picking a couple of actions.
Yep.
That's
it's
nice.
very
that's clean.
It's the choice of the 2 actions will be, you still have lots of strategies. You can go very heavily into research that will score you points, or for area majority, or just collecting and selling resources, or even selling dice off, which will then reduce your dice pool but also give you victory points.
Oh, so you can manage what's in your bag. Yeah, very nice. So how many players can this play with?
So this is up to 4 players, and again, this is prototype, but this is what the final dice are gonna.
You've got some samples there. Okay, let's go ahead and put some samples out here of the dice, so they can take a look at what they will look like. These look to be what is that sort of printed?
It's a
screen
hot
printed.
Yep.
Okay, hot printing. Okay, yeah, very nice. They pop. They look very sharp. Nice colors. Great. And when is this going to be available?
So this one is also going to come out in October in the US, and the MSRP on it is $60.
Okay. So they'll be available around the same time.
Yes.
And you can get those later this year. Very nice. Cool. Yeah, thanks for showing both of these to us. They look great. I'm liking the, as I said, the idea of having so much going on with such simple sort of choices on your turn. I like those, you know, top-down implications in a game. That's really neat. It's great talking to you. I appreciate you coming by and showing this off.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for tuning in and checking these out. We'll see you on the next one.